Hi everyone, Mrs. Kobani here. This screencast will answer the question, what is radiation? Find a place to take notes. Be sure to ask questions if you have them, and as always, collaborate. When you share what you're learning with someone else, you increase your ability to understand and remember the material. Here we go. You have learned that matter is anything with mass and volume. Matter is stuff that takes up space and is made of particles. The type of particles and the way that they're arranged tell us about what the matter is. You've also learned about energy. There are many different forms of energy. Energy and matter are the two things that make up our universe. The sun is Earth's primary or main source of energy. Though the Earth makes some energy of its own through geothermal action, the Earth could not survive without the sun. The sun is doing nuclear fusion in its core. During this process, the sun is changing nuclear energy into light energy and thermal energy. These two forms of energy share some similarities. For example, they are both forms of energy, both kinetic, transformed by the sun, and can be transformed into each other. There are some important differences between these forms of energy too. Thermal energy is the energy of moving particles. All matter has thermal energy because it's made of particles that have kinetic energy. Thermal energy cannot travel through space because there are no particles. Outer space is what's called a vacuum. Because thermal energy is the energy of moving particles and there's no particles to transfer the heat to Earth, this heat stays at the sun. Light energy, however, is energy that travels as a wave. This form of energy can easily move through space because it does not need to move through particles. Recall that the sun transmits 7 kinds of light energy to the Earth. This group of light energy is known as the electromagnetic spectrum and ranges from low-energy radio waves to high-energy gamma rays. The sun transforms nuclear energy into light energy, which begs this question, where does that light energy go once it gets to Earth? We learned that light can interact with matter in 4 ways. The light that strikes Earth's surface is both reflected and absorbed. A large percentage of the incoming light from the sun is reflected by clouds, the surface of the Earth, and the gases in Earth's atmosphere. The light that isn't reflected, however, is absorbed, and that energy is what we're going to focus on in this unit. Earth, its atmosphere, and the things on Earth are made of particles. It's matter. These particles absorb some of the incoming light from the sun. When these particles absorb the light, they start to move. This is a really key concept, so I'm going to repeat it, and you should write it down. When light gets absorbed by particles, the particles move. Recall that moving particles is thermal energy. This doesn't just have to be with the sun. It can be with any light source. When light gets absorbed by particles, the light is turned into thermal energy. This form of heat transfer is called radiation. We've used that word radiation before to describe energy that moves as waves. In this unit, we'll use the word radiation to describe the process of light getting absorbed and turning into thermal energy or particle movement. If you need to, pause my screen to record this definition. Radiation is one of 3 methods where thermal energy is transferred. In this process, light is absorbed by the particles that make up matter. Since the energy has to go somewhere, the light energy is transformed into thermal energy as the particles of the matter start to move faster and faster. Radiation doesn't just have to be between the sun and the Earth. Radiation works when any light energy is absorbed and transformed into thermal energy. For example, a microwave uses low-energy light to heat up food. Inside a reptile tank, heat lamps are used for cold-blooded animals, which is absorbed by the skin of the reptile and transformed into heat. You've also seen restaurants taking advantage of radiation by placing food under lamps to keep it warm. Radiation is one of 3 methods of heat transfer. In our coming work together, we'll study other methods of heat transfer, including conduction and convection as well. Radiation is a unique form of heat transfer because it involves an energy transformation where light is transformed into thermal energy without particles directly transferring the energy themselves. Before we conclude our work, I want you to consider this application of radiation. Given what you've just learned, why is it a bad idea to wear a black shirt on a clear sunny day? Why is a white shirt a better option for staying cool in the sun? Pause my screencast and discuss this idea with a friend or write down your thoughts. Resume my screencast once you've shared your thinking. Remember the law of conservation of energy? It says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. To say another way, the amount of energy that is put into a system is equal to the amount of energy at the end of the change. This explains why a black shirt gets too hot in the sun. Black surfaces absorb all colors of visible light, Roy G. Biv. This energy that gets absorbed makes particles in the shirt move very quickly. Since so much light energy goes into the shirt's particles, all the colors, there's more energy to make the particles move. More light energy is absorbed by the shirt, which equates to more thermal energy or heat in the shirt. A white shirt would act in the exact opposite way. White surfaces reflect all colors. Since little or no light energy is taken in, the particles don't have as much energy for movement or thermal energy at the end. This is why a white shirt is a better option for staying cooler in the sun. Thank you for joining me for this exploration of radiation as a method of heat transfer. Please be sure to contact your teacher with questions, wonderings, and clarifications. Be sure to share your thinking with someone else. The more you can talk about science, the better you'll learn it and remember it. Have a great day.